Now we're going to take a look at the square root property, which is another method that we can use in order to solve quadratic equations. So if we take a look at our first quadratic equation here, we have that x squared minus 81 is equal to 0. Okay. Hopefully you can recognize that x squared minus 81 here, this is a difference of squares. So we can really easily factor this quadratic. So it factors into x plus 9 times x minus 9, okay, that's equal to 0. So then we can apply the zero product principle, okay, to say that x plus 9 is equal to 0, or x minus 9 is equal to 0. And then solving each of these equations will give us our solutions, which would be x is equal to negative 9 or x is equal to positive 9. Okay. Now then, on the other hand, if I take a look at x squared plus 4, that's a sum of squares. We don't have a way to factor this, okay? So how would we solve a problem such as this? Okay. And the answer to that is we're going to use what's called the square root property. And the square root property here, it says that if on one side of our equation we have something that is squared, okay, and it's equal to some value or something like that, then we can solve what x is by taking either the positive square root or the negative square root. Okay? So if, in other words, if we can get a perfect square on one side of the equation, we can take the square root of both sides and use that in order to solve our problem. Okay? Now then, sometimes, I want to point out, you'll see this written as x is equal to plus or minus the square root of k. Okay? Just realize that this still, by writing plus or minus the square root of k, this means that there are two answers. Okay? Even though we've kind of put them together to look like one, there's still two answers, the positive square root and the other one is the negative square root.